Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Happy Life with Maria podcast. Today, we have an amazing guest, Alana from Superbloom Coaching, who is very interesting. I hope you like her journey as much as I do. So, welcome, Alana.
Thank you, Maria, for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I think we would love to hear, for those who don't know, a little bit about what you do and how you got started.
I am born in Rochester, New York, and that's where I live now. But I spent some time in New York City, which I know you're there. So I finished my college career at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, and I thought that that was kind of the path that I was gonna go towards, which was stay in fashion. And I did work in the fashion industry for about 5 years at Steve Madden. He's a shoe designer. And after some time there, I felt like I was missing home and missing family, and I wanted to come back home to Rochester. And quickly in that time, I got married, and then I got divorced actually within a year of marriage. And that was the first time I was starting to give myself permission to have self-love and really take the opposite direction than maybe what other people would think is right. But I had to do what was best for myself. I then entered a career in tech. So I was an HR tech executive and worked my way up into managing global teams and did that for another 5, 7 years and was just getting to a point of burnout and unhappiness and chronic stress and pain in the body. And I was just like, what am I supposed to be doing with this one life I have? And that kind of pushed me to pause and let myself quit. I quit my job with nothing lined up and not knowing what I wanted to do. Again, that kind of giving myself permission to take a minute and just sit with myself and be more introspective and learn about who I am. And that's the work that I was working with a coach on, kind of how to move forward. Where do I want to go? What do I see for myself? And then I asked her, I was like, wait a minute, where did you get certified? How? Because I kind of want to do what you're doing. So the rest is history. I decided to take my coaching certification, and I was like, thank you, God, the universe. This is my purpose. I found what I'm supposed to be doing. And therefore I started Superbloom Coaching. And a little background on the name Superbloom. It's actually a botanical phenomenon that happens in usually Arizona or California, where these seeds of wildflowers have laid dormant, sometimes for years, and then they all bloom at exactly the same time. And it's called the super bloom. And I just felt like, isn't that so true of us as human beings, that sometimes our gifts and our talents lay quiet, and it's time for us to really open up to them.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Wow, what a beautiful analogy with the super bloom. I really like that. That is so interesting because, yeah, it's like you said, sometimes we can just be dormant and not realize the full like blooming that we can experience if we just kind of, choose a different direction, choose a little bit more connected to our soul purpose, to connected to ourselves. I would love to learn a little bit more about what kind of items you are more passionate helping people with. Do you like helping them with their personal journeys? Do you like helping them careers? What do you enjoy
Yeah,
most?
that's a great question. And it was kind of hard for me as I was getting started. I was like, am I a career coach? Am I a life coach? Am I a spiritual coach? Like, what am I? And I decided, instead of kind of giving it a name, my kind of ideal client is really who I was and who I am. So I work with a lot of high achieving women. Typically, they manage people, or they're directors or vice presidents and above. And they may have that feeling inside of like, I look successful on paper, externally to everyone else, I look successful, but inside something's missing. And that was what I felt like. almost this disconnection or this kind of stuck energy. And I didn't know what that meant. And I realized once I worked with a coach to understand, what are Alana's core values? We talk a lot about company values, but what about mine? It helps you make decisions easier. It helps you process challenges quicker. And for me, I weave in the spiritual aspect. So I would say it's a little bit all in one. It's, they're all connected, right? Like your career could relate to your marriage, could relate to your childhood, could relate to your health, right? As you know. So it's almost like we have an alignment call as clients, me and them, and then we see if it's the right fit.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yes, I definitely agree with the fact that everything is interconnected. Even if you think you're talking about your career, but you're really talking about the inner version of you that really wants to feel, better. And then if you're talking about, it's like it's all connected for sure, for sure. So
true.
I like how you are. Oh, sorry. Can we have you a little bit closer to the microphone so we can, so we can hear you a little better. Perfect. Just trying to make sure. But I wanted to here. So for example, let's say somebody's listening and they are, doing something they don't really like, and they're thinking about switching to do their own personal, I guess, small passion project or business on the side. What would you say, like, what were some of the things that helped you transition? Like, did you still have a part-time role? Did you start joining a community that would help you stay in that direction? What helped you?
So actually, the first thing I did was a very unpractical thing. I actually did a meditation visualization and my coach had me walk through, she basically took me to my 90th birthday party. And I'm imagining myself in my 90s and who was there and what are they thanking me for and what is this legacy that I left behind. And when I did that, that helped me get very clear on what it is I want to do, right? Because we rarely think about the end of our life. And it really puts things into perspective of like, is the career I'm in now giving me enough meaning or purpose? And for me, it wasn't. And for some people, listen, my sister, for example, she's a nurse and she loves it. And maybe it's not her full purpose, but she has other things outside of her career that give her purpose. So I'm not saying you all have to quit your job and start a new business, but I would definitely take a moment to think about, when you do reach a mature age, what is it you hope that you left behind? And that helps you clarify. And then some of the other practical things, I was lucky because the company that I worked for got bought out and we had shares in the company as employees. So that helped me have some savings so that I could really take a few months off and then start the business. And listen, it's hard for a while. I mean, it's still hard sometimes, right? But lean on people. There's supportive people all around you. And like we met recently and I truly believe that others want to help you grow and want to support you. So just talk about what you're doing or what you want to be doing and have exploratory calls with people. I used to just, I get coffee with people, I get lunch with people, I have Zooms with people, and just tell them what you're doing. And you never know how that trickles out into the universe. And they say, oh my God, Alana could help with that. Oh, I think Alana could help with that. And then it all starts to add up.
I love that. Thank you. I think somebody mentioned that also, like open as many doors as you can, put yourself in front of as many people as you can, and then the right people will reach out, the right connections will happen. But yeah, it's just about like putting yourself out there and just like you said, speaking about what it is that you do, speaking about how you can help. And you never know. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And sometimes it's just about taking steps forward. That's literally
right. And like you helped me. I had someone in mind when you were explaining your work on the mind, body, spirit connection and what you went through with, chronic pain. I was like, boom, I have someone for you. So it's really just talk about, it's weird because we don't like to talk about ourselves, but you're not doing it in a bragging way. You're just explaining what you do and why your why behind it. And then immediately when you said that, I was like, I have someone. I have someone.
Yes, hopefully she will decide one day. Let's see what happens. Yeah, but it's like you just said, just speaking about it, that's a very good tip. Thank you so much. And also I would love to hear, um, what do you feel like now that you are living in this version of you versus what it was like before?
Oh, that's such a good question. I always describe it as inner peace and freedom. There's something so liberating about the feeling that I have now. And I think before, I used to think that you could only experience joy after a success or after you're productive or after, you're married or, and it's like, how can we choose to drop into joy now? Because when you operate from that frequency of joy, that's when all the other miracles start to happen. So it's almost like reversing our thinking. And of course, our programming through our childhood and through many years of life and our conditioning has told us, you can't rest until you're productive, and you can't, you're not successful until you have tons of money. And there's so many different pies of success, and financial is one piece of it. Um, Sorry, I
Yes.
kind of forgot the
No,
question.
no, that makes sense because the thing you pointed out to about joy, I agree with that so much because one thing that helps me, which I discovered, I guess, through the burnout of the corporate as well and all that, is I would schedule 1 hour a week of dancing, like take a dance class or do a performance or something. And then that mindset of looking forward to something joyful, even 1 hour a week, would already change the entire week because I had something joyful to look forward to, I had something positive to look forward to that had nothing to do with the day to day, like responsibilities or anything like that. And then one little hour a week of dancing just uplifted the entire week for me. So I literally tell everybody, find something joyful at least one time a week. And then the mind is looking for that positivity, and just let like expectation of something positive coming up
Yeah.
already like puts you in such a like uplifting mood. So for me, yeah, I definitely agree with the joy is a game changer for sure, whichever way that looks like for you. But
And that's something you're doing for yourself, right? It's like so often as women, especially, we're taking care of others and how can I give here and then I got to give when I get home. And it's like we got to go back to being a receiver and understanding that where in my life am I over giving and under receiving? And so I love that. That's so beautiful because you're carving out time for yourself and you're saying to the universe or God or whatever you believe in, it's like, I'm honoring myself, so I give you permission to honor me.
yes, that's exactly true. We do, as women, I guess, mostly find ourselves giving, giving, giving. And then we're depleted, we're exhausted, we
We're
don't have any energy left to give, but everybody wants something, everybody needs something. And then somehow magically you're supposed to come up with, the energy to help everybody. But I like what you say. Basically, it's me taking time to replenish my energy. It's me choosing to do something specifically for me that does not involve helping everybody. Like it does not involve any of that stuff. That's such a, I haven't even looked at it that way.
Yes,
That's
no,
also exactly what it is. I'm choosing to do it just for me,
yes,
to replenish my energy, to restore my joy, to restore, like the battery, right? Recharge the battery for me, so that then I can also help others. Yeah, I think that's not something we learn
no.
growing up. We never learn that it's okay to specifically put on your schedule something for you.
So true. And it's actually looked down upon almost. It's like, oh, she's selfish. She's taking time for herself. It's like, in order to give back, I love that. In order to give back, right? I have to be full first.
Yeah, that is so interesting. Now I'm like thinking like when we were never taught that. Like that was never, like a part of life, lessons from the families, from the communities. It was never like, explained to us in this way that you have to fill yourself up first, that you have the right to take time to replenish your energy. You have the right to say, well, this day is for me, this half an hour is for me, and don't feel guilty about it.
Guilty. Yeah, don't go to shame. Exactly. And that's what I feel like. I mean, I'm trying to teach and you're trying to teach, right? Just by you saying, listen, I gave myself permission to have an hour a week of dancing. That makes me want to do it. And then I tell someone who they want to do it, right? It's like the permission slips keep being handed out. Not that we need permission, but we almost think we do.
Yeah, and then you'll see that as an example, right? It inspires you. Oh, wait, maybe I'm gonna go take a paint class once a week, or maybe I'm gonna go ice skating once a, whatever is exciting for them. Yeah, it's the inspiring thing that happens after they see the example. That's what I always say, because sometimes it's hard to explain to the person what you mean, but by doing it, by living it, we can plant a seed, and then one day they'll remember, oh, I remember seeing Maria choosing to, so that I can do that. Oh, okay. It's like the same thing as what was it, we were talking on my other podcast episode, we were talking about how the power of seeing an example of what you want to do, even like what was his name, Tyler Perry and Oprah. So Tyler Perry didn't know it's possible to own his own movie studio until he went to a party that Oprah was hosting like 15 years before, where she just created her own Harpo Studios. And he was like, that's possible. Like we can have our own like thing. And that planted a seed in his mind. It opened his mind to what's possible. And then 15 years later, or what is it, like 20 years later, he created his own gigantic studio in Atlanta that now is like one of the biggest movie studios. But because he saw an example of what's possible, and then he decided that's possible for him. But if you don't see it, sometimes it's very hard to know that it's possible.
It's so true. And like believing in yourself and believing that you deserve good things to happen to you. I think that's one of the first things I say in an intro call with a client is, in order for good things to come your way, you first have to believe that you are worthy of receiving it, right? Like I never, 3 years ago, I never thought that I could possibly have a business doing something I love. So it is, right? So I didn't. But now I believe I can have a business, a successful business doing something I love. So it is, right? It's you are where your attention is. Your thoughts create your reality. I mean, so choose which world you want to be in. And for me, I'm going to go towards maybe, that people say like it's a little delusional. I rather be in the delusional infinite possibility zone than the victim, why is everything happening to me zone, right? Life is happening for us if you look at it that way.
Yeah, I love it. But it's so true. The believing part is so powerful, because let's say like for me, if I don't believe I deserve to have even the surroundings in my, because I used to be surrounded by people that were always using me. They always needed something, and they always like the victims. And I'm like, oh, I have to go help because because I'm very like, empathetic. I'm very like, I love to, I don't like to see people, in a bad way. So I would run, and that would create for myself a situation where everybody around me would always use me. And they'd be like, oh, she's nice. Oh, she's like gonna run, like, what's it? And then you get to a point, you're like, wait a minute, how did I create this for myself where everybody is using me? And I'm like, what? And they think I don't see it. I see it. And then I decided, just like one day, I just kind of decided, I was like, this is not an experience I want to have anymore. I want to have people surrounding me that are equally giving and taking. It's equal exchange of energy, where I want to be able to go to them as well if I need something. It's not just one-sided, and it just kind of like knowing, like you said, that you have the right to have that experience, that you can ask for that. Like that was already a shift, just knowing it's possible.
Yes, that is so true. And that kind of relates to, I mean, it does relate to Kabbalah, which is something that I've actually gotten into quite
Me too.
recently.
I love it.
Yay, oh
Yes.
my God, I'm so glad. And for me, it's like the practicality and framework of how life works. So it explains why we react the way we do and why the same patterns keep repeating, like you said, in relationships, in work, in self-worth, and how do we consciously interrupt them to shift back into joy, because we get to control our response. And like you, it takes some time, right, for these patterns to keep repeating and showing up. But then you caught it, you were aware of it, and you got to choose your response. So for me, it resonates with me because it's very practical, and it asks you to get honest about yourself. Like, what does it say about you, Maria, right? To have people walk all over you, right? What does that say about your patterns, your triggers, where you give your power away? And it's so cool that you noticed it, and then we're like, okay, I'm not going to be stuck in that anymore.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the awareness, right? Awareness of what you are creating. It's like we were talking, you are creating your reality. Maybe you don't see it that way. You think you're the victim. Why is everybody else behaving that way? But when you flip it and you take ownership of what you have created, they're behaving that way maybe because you're allowing them to behave that way with you,
Like, yeah.
And take ownership.
Yeah, like it teaches us our reactive nature, which I think is the part of us that people pleases and controls. And, for me in corporate, I was overworking because I just wanted to prove myself and I wanted to perform. And it teaches us to pause, witness it, and choose differently. Choose differently next time. And to me, that question you asked before, I mean, to be able to choose differently is inner peace, is freedom. So it's just really helped me in my daily life because, again, you can always shift no matter what's happening in your life, that even when things don't make sense, to trust that something is unfolding for you and it's not against you.
Yes, no, I definitely want to talk a little bit more about Kabbalah if we can, because I'm so passionate about it as well. I just discovered it maybe like a year ago, and I was like, oh my God, this is like summarizing everything that we talk about spirituality in one kind of like, he made everything align. And I was like, wait a minute, like that's exactly what it all is about. It's knowing that you have the power to create your reality. It's knowing that you can choose to pause. It's knowing that, you can shift, you can change, go to a different version of you. You can, instead of reacting, you can observe first, like pause. What is this showing me? So tell me a little bit about what excites you about Kabbalah and what got you into it.
Yeah, I think for me, it was the waiting for joy. I was like thinking that you wait for it after something. But I realized when I shifted to Kabbalah, it was a spiritual state that you get to choose. Like the biggest thing for me was the idea of choosing certainty over logic. So that's one of the strongest Kabbalistic teachings. And it basically means you don't need proof in order to trust, and you don't need control to feel safe. Because joy gets to show up in your life when you stop negotiating with life and you let life work for you. So for me, in any situation, I was able to say, how can I lean into certainty, right? So I'm starting in a business, and it's like, how can I lean into certainty even in a very uncertain time? Like I sometimes, early on, it's like, I don't know where my next paycheck's coming from. I don't know when my next client's going to show up. But can I trust in the unseen and trust that everything is working out for me in this divine orchestration that I may not be able to see? and it will unfold exactly when and how it's supposed to happen. And that's not my job to worry about it. My job is to act as if I already have it, act as if I already am the light, and try to be a good person and a good steward in the world, and let the universe do its job, right? Because that's not our job. So for me, it was really about releasing control. And that was hard because my whole life I've been, I want perfection. I want to have a good job. I want to have a good relationship. Everything needs to look good. And it's like, who cares? Who really cares at the end of the day? How are you feeling internally? Because you can have all the success and all the money in the world, but without peace, you will always feel empty. And I'm living proof of that. I had a great salary. But it doesn't matter. And if it did, if all of the happiest people were the richest, well, if everyone who had money was happy, then we'd know that that's what creates joy. But we know that not everyone with money is happy.
No, I could definitely agree with that, because I used to be in corporate before, and I was also making a high salary, and I was miserable, absolutely miserable, hated every day, didn't know what to do with myself, just misery to the point where you just didn't want to wake up in the morning. It was really bad. So yeah, it doesn't automatically equal joy. It doesn't automatically equal happiness. It doesn't equal fulfillment. Like you said, it's important that you feel fulfilled. It's important that you feel that you are giving a service that you want to give, where you are doing what you want to do, making the change in the world that you want to make the change in the world. And then the money will flow. Like you said, if you let go, if you're not forcing the money to come to you and I have to hustle, I have to do this. No, if you are, like you said, if you step back and you are setting the intention that this is how I want to experience life, this is what I want the services to be, and you kind of allow it to come to you, and you just take the steps that you normally would take, you're not overly going crazy about it, just normally taking the steps that you can take, whatever comes to your mind. You want to join a community, you join a community. You want to go for a networking event, you go for a networking event. But just letting it unfold naturally, like you said, is the way to go about it. And then the universe can be a co-pilot with you. You got to allow the universe to co-pilot it with you, to guide you. Maybe you'll get an idea, maybe I feel like going to this event today, which I was not even planning on going to, and then you'll meet somebody there that's the right fit for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, letting the universe do its part with you.
Yes, let it dance with you. And for me, that question that you said, I love that, like detaching from the outcome. How can I not force the outcome? How can I completely detach from the outcome, because I trust that whatever is going to happen is working for me, even for my highest good. Like I'm always being protected. I'm always being supported. I'm always being guided. And that for me, as someone who grew up with a lot of anxiety, that just totally released the anxiety and the pressure, because I choose to believe that. I choose to have faith over fear, and it really works. And there's so much physics behind it. And some people are like, well, that's a little woo woo, or that, and that's fine. It's all energy. So look up the science behind it, because if you're a more scientific person and you want to go that route, they can prove it that way. They can prove it this way. And if you let life work for you, it will.
Yes. And I would love to hear if you're open to share any example where you let it flow and it gave you the outcome that you didn't even imagine was possible.
Yeah, that's a great question. I was actually thinking about, so it was about a little over a year ago. I was like, okay, well, I have this coaching business and I really want to get into speaking and doing more motivational speaking. So I was like, okay, I meditated and I was like, tell me what I need to know. Like, what am I supposed to do next? And it was just such a clear voice that said to me, like, if you want to speak, then go speak. So what that meant to me was actually why don't I host an event where I speak and I invite my people, my women, my tribe, right? And we are having open, real, raw conversation about life. And I did that a year ago. And during it, you know, I just felt so in my purpose. Like I was like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be living in your purpose. And at the end of that event, a woman came up to me and she tapped me on the shoulder and she was like, I want to do a podcast with you. And like, I want like us to be hosts. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to do that. But like, I don't have the money right now. And I don't have a studio. And she's like, no. I already have it all set up. You just need to show up. Are you in? And I was like, yes. And a couple of days before the event, I had asked the universe, I was like, I would love to do a podcast. How could I do that? How could I focus on that this next year? And it was so cool because she came to me and tapped me because I was in my purpose and I was operating at a high vibration, and that energy transferred to her and then she resonated with it and came to me. So I really do think that these synchronicities all align when you are doing the things that bring you joy, like dancing or being creative or taking a risk. I think that the universe rewards courageous people. I mean, you got to take a risk, and the universe almost like clocks it like, yep, Alana made that jump. Yep, Maria made that jump. Here's something for you.
I love it. What a perfect example. Thank you so much for sharing. That's a great example of how if we decide, you know, you do the meditation, you ask the universe for signs, for ideas, and then you let it go, and then you take action in that direction, right? You created the event, you made it happen with the help of the universe, obviously, and then,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and then everybody came to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. It's so true. And you're right in saying ask for it and then let go and just act as the light, act as the creator would, and let go. It's hard. That's the hard part.
That is the hard part. It is so difficult. Like even for me, like I tell other people to do that, but for myself, sometimes I'm like, no, I cannot.
I'm with you.
But then when I do remember, oh, okay, wait, let me just let go and let God. And it does flow. I'm like, oh yeah, it does work. It's just like getting out of your own way sometimes is like the most work that you have to do, is just get out of your own way. You asked, then you let it happen in its right time, the right way. Don't try to force it to be specifically your way. You know, it's going to happen the way the universe decides it's going to happen. You know, we're in control, but we're not really in control.
Right. So true. Do you have an example of it too? I have a feeling you do too.
When I let go and things came to me, I do, but it's not really my specific situation. So I was having a very difficult time, maybe like 3-4 years ago. I was walking around on a beach we have in Brooklyn here, Brighton Beach. And I was just like, I need help. I was like, I need some sort of a spiritual intervention because I was just in a lot of like physical pain from the stress and everything. And I was like, I just need some help. And then within the hour, I got an idea to book a massage in New Jersey, which I would never in my life book a massage. Like I hate massages. I hate people touching me, nothing. But I was just like, really felt like I need to book a massage in New Jersey just for feeling better because my neck was bothering me like crazy. And I just Googled randomly, and I Googled, and there was only one spot available in this spa in New Jersey that had like, it was 3 hours away. I book it. I was like, I don't know who this person is. They asked me like, who do you want? I was like, whoever is available. And they assigned me randomly this person. And I get there. It took me 3 hours, train, bus, whatever, Uber. I get there 3 hours later. I get to this person, and he turns out to be not just a massage therapist. He's actually a highly spiritual like leader, very trained in spirituality, and he can like tell your chakras and things like that. And he's like, oh, you came to the right place. We need to realign your chakras. I was like, what?
Wow. See?
It was such a surprise.
How'd you feel after?
Oh my God, he recharged everything. He has like a lot of training in a lot of different modalities. He's from a different country that he came here recently, and he has so many different modalities he can do. So he literally can, go into your field and remove any pain, because he believes, like I believe also, a lot of physical pain comes from the emotion. So he can clear the emotion of it. Like the body keeps the score, as they say. So a lot of the times, us just ruminating and looping a thought that is stressful is creating physical disease in the body. We don't realize it, but it does. And the body keeps the score, and then all of it gets stored in the energy field, and eventually you get sick. So he is able to kind of do that for us, which we can do ourselves also. It doesn't have to be somebody else. I was just at that moment he was choosing to help me, but technically that's something all of us can do. We can release and remove the past emotional state. It's something that's available to all of us. It's just knowing the right techniques, which I find are very helpful. So yeah, so he was able to kind of release all the past hurts for me. And then for that moment, obviously it doesn't last long. Like, let's say 2 months later, I'll go and I'll create more stress. I'll have the physical health issue again. So I would have to clear it myself again. So he can help you in that moment, but it's up to us to constantly be aware of what thoughts we're allowing, what we are creating, because it's something we constantly create. So like you said, either you're creating the positive or you're creating the negative, but you're constantly creating. So it was like a very surprising little gift from the universe. But after that, now I'm very kind of conscious of my own thoughts. I'm very conscious of what I create, and I want to keep my field as steady as possible. But obviously, stresses do happen, and I also, like you said, you got certified. I also got certified in like an energy clearing technique that I told you about. So that helps me now, because I was like, I want to do that myself, like which everybody can. It's just like we never learn it in school.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool is that pain led you to him to lead you to do the work, do similar work that he's doing, because we need more people like that. And we think so many thoughts. I think it's 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of them are repetitive from yesterday or negative. So it's like, until we interrupt it, of course we're going to continue to feel sick. If we can make ourselves sick, we certainly can we can heal ourselves.
Yes, that part, exactly. Since we're the ones that are making ourselves sick, maybe we are also the ones that can heal ourselves. I love it. That's exactly it.
We certainly can. And again, it starts with the belief that you can.
Yeah,
right?
That's literally what I tell anybody that comes for my sessions. Step number one, you have to believe and be open that it is possible for you. That's step number one. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
That was good. I just got chills from that, which is
okay, so we're about to wrap up. We have like 5 minutes. So the last 5 minutes, I like to play a little game. Okay. So this is called Question Everything. These are cards that one of my favorite podcasters created, Danielle. Her podcast is called Question Everything. and these are little cards. So we just randomly pick some cards. It's like conversation questions that are super fun. And then we will wrap this up. But this was amazing.
It was fun.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. What parts of yourself do you feel most proud of?
Oh, wow, that's a really good one.
Let's both answer. You think and I'll think.
I am most proud of my younger self, that I think I used to associate with drama and almost being too loud, too sassy, too bossy. And now I really am trying to weave her essence back into me, because she is me. And I'm so proud of her, because I went through and I witnessed my brother have a spinal cord injury accident. He was trying to snow angel for my sister and I. And he wanted to make the snow angel so realistic that he didn't want to leave footprints in the snow. So out of my parents' house out of the deck. He jumped backwards thinking that the snow would cushion his landing, and he suffered a spinal cord injury. And at 6 years old, seeing that was life changing. And I don't think I realized how traumatic it was and how much anxiety it created in my life until I went to years of therapy. But I'm so proud of her for getting through that and still being her bold, loud, sassy self and speaking up for her needs. And my brother is doing well, by the way. He lives in
thank
New York.
God. I was gonna ask.
Yes,
Okay.
he's a theater director in New York City. So
Thank God.
he's in a wheelchair, but so he's paralyzed, but he has the best spirit. So sorry, that took a long time, but
That's okay. It's all good.
I would say my 6-year-old self I'm most proud of.
That is incredible. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. And it's a miracle that your brother is alive and is able to, choose to enjoy, choose to look at the positive, because, it's a choice you can make. Unfortunately, things unfold in the way that they unfold, and it's up to us to choose what to do next. So it's interesting that, he chose, thankfully, that. But yeah, thank you for sharing. Let me see. What part of myself do I feel most proud of? I mean, the only thing I can say is listening to my intuition, because I've always been very connected to my intuition, but I didn't know what it was called. I was just highly intuitive since I was born. And everybody would always make fun of me. And then I would always be like, I would know what the person is about to say before they say it. And they'd be like, how could you know that? And I'm like, doesn't everybody know? And I didn't know what that was called until now that I'm getting into studying all these modalities and learning about all this. I was like, oh, so that's actually a good thing. That's actually a positive thing. So knowing that I choose to connect to my intuition, I choose to use it in my day-to-day life instead of being like, oh, this is different from others. This is a positive thing to have different from others.
That's a huge quality. Like the self-trust is key. It's key to having a fulfilling life. You have to trust yourself. And in order to trust yourself, you have to know yourself, right? So that's the work we do. And then you love yourself, and then you're in it and you're living a beautiful life. So I love that, because trust your intuition.
Thank you. Yeah, that was definitely a challenge for me. I did not trust myself before. Everybody else was making decisions for Maria. Everybody else would be like, do this, do that. And I'd be like, oh, okay, because they said it, I have to do it. Until in my adult now that I had all these physical health issues I had to fix with emotional, I realized I have to make those choices, not other people. I have to be the one. That's how I reconnected to my intuition. Yeah, you said it perfectly. Yeah, that is very important for physical health, for emotional health, for everything, for living life. It's important to trust ourselves, to listen to our own inner voice instead of somebody else's inner voice.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're telling you what's right from their perspective, but it doesn't always mean that it's right for your perspective. Only you know what's right for you from your perspective. Feel confident enough and bold enough to listen to your own intuition instead of somebody else's.
Yeah, you are the expert of your own life. And that's the work in coaching. People think, well, do I come to you for answers or advice? No, I'm just helping you hear yourself more clearly. You're saying it, so let's uncover what's really behind what you're talking about. And you know what to do. You know what to do next. But can you get quiet enough to listen to what you are trying to say to yourself?
Yes, you said it perfectly. Exactly. We are the ones that know. Nobody outside of you can tell you that.
No, and I'm the same way. It's like the external validation of asking my mom, asking my friends, asking my partner, and it's like, wait a minute, what does Alana want to do? What do I believe is right? And let's try that way. And you're right. And it's a conscious effort. It's hard. There's so much external validation and people pleasing all around us, but I'm really trying to do what you said as well. It's like, how can I trust myself? Because I know what's best for me.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Yes, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I feel like the work that you're doing is important. And I feel like the more people learn something like that, which should be basic skill taught in schools, which is not taught, you know,
I
you
know.
know, like why is that not, brought up in a regular school setting? Like, why is that something we don't know? But it's so basic. But it's difficult, but it's definitely, we have the right to do that. We have the right for it. The next question is, okay. What's the smartest decision you've ever made?
Oh, wow. Wow, these are great. What's
I
the
got to think about that one.
I've ever made?
Smartest. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to say the smartest decision I ever made was what we just talked about, deciding to listen to my own voice instead of everybody else's. That literally changed my whole life when I stopped allowing everybody else to dictate, oh, Maria, now you're going to do this, now you're going to do that. And that was making me so miserable that I got literally physically sick from all that. When I stopped that and I decided, you know what, I'm going to listen to my own intuition, even if it doesn't make any sense. If I want to take a dance class, that's what I want to do.
Totally. And that is, I'm glad you worded it that way, because I was going into the details of like, what is the smartest decision? See the programming. But you're right. Thank you for zooming out, because when I think about the actual decisions that I made, like getting a divorce, falling in love, and then quitting my job, it all comes from trusting myself. All of it. And not what other people think you should do or tell you what to do, but sitting with yourself. I always say the most important meeting you can have of the day is the one with yourself, right? If you are searching for answers and clarity and you're feeling stuck, just take 5 minutes in silence. And you're not going to have breakthroughs every time, but just sit with yourself and try to hear what is in the silence, because that's the loudest wisdom, I think.
Oh my God, now you're inspiring me. I'm going to put it on my schedule, one-on-one with Maria. It's going to be on my schedule.
Love it. Put it on.
I'm going to put it on the schedule. Booked. Don't bother me. It's so going on my schedule. Most important meeting.
That's right. VIP with
VIP. But that's true. We have to make time for ourselves. We have to literally put it on the schedule. Otherwise, life gets in the way. This is it. And then you're like, oh, the day is gone and I didn't get a chance to. But
right.
If I put it on my schedule. Thank you. Okay, the last question. Ooh, this is a good one. We got good ones today. Okay. When was the last time you felt closest to magic in your life?
Oh. Right now. I mean, this is, I could cry. It's like the present moment is
the magic.
The magic. And it doesn't have to be big, and it really just teaches me to be in the moment and be where your feet are and enjoy it. And look, I'm laughing with a new friend. And the present moment is always magical if you can look at it that way.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. The present moment is the magic. This is what we all miss. We're all looking over there, when I'll get there, when I'll get this, when I'll get that. But the reality is right now, in this moment, in this minute, in this second is the magic. It's right now. It's today. It's this moment.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it, or it'll just pass you by.
Yeah, be present. Let the universe do its thing. You do your thing. Let the universe do its thing. You have to create space for it to come in and do things with you. You can relax and let go and know that you're not the only one here. You have help. You have the angels and the archangels, whatever you believe in. You have the divine helping you. My lights is already going out. It's time to go.
Look at that. It was like an angel. That was The angels.
That was crazy.
No, that was perfect. That was supposed to happen.
They were like, we're here. Right here in this moment with you.
Cute.
But thank you so much, Alana. This was amazing. Thank you for sharing all your life journeys and stories. I hope this is inspiring others, giving them permission to be okay with listening to their own intuition, listening to their own guidance system instead of everybody else, which I think is very important, life shifting knowledge to trust yourself, to know that you know what's right for you, not everybody else. You know, you're the only one that's in charge of your life. So thank you for sharing that. And where can people find you?
Yeah, so my website is superbloom-coach.com, and you can find everything on there on Instagram, superbloom.coaching.
Okay, we will link it in the bio. But I definitely like to acknowledge the guest before we go. So thank you to you specifically, Alana, for being brave enough to leave the corporate, being brave enough to listen to yourself and feel like, what is the best version of me? What if, like, just being open to what if, there is something out there that's making me more happier than I'm not pursuing yet. So thank you for your bravery, for your just like trust in life, and like we were talking about in Kabbalah, knowing that you can connect and be a channel and be a light. It's all within us already. So definitely thank you so much for being you.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. I appreciate it.
Yay. Okay, bye. Okay, we're good.